I seek refuge in God, Samir, all-knowing, from Satan, the accursed. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, and hereby we seek help. May peace and blessings be upon Muhammad and his good and pure family. God is a blessing upon Muhammad, and pain, and praise, and hasten his relief. The discussion was about methods that can be benefited from to prove the existence of the Creator, or the existence of God, or the existence of God. God bless him and grant him peace. In my opinion, the methods differ in their implications and in their results, some of which flow to a Creator, some of which flow to God, some of them flow to God, and for this reason we enumerate the thousands who moved to the last path. We referred to the first path, to the second path, to the third path, and the third, and we arrived at the final path. Regarding the fourth path, my consolation is that there is a commonality between the third and fourth paths. There is also a difference between them. As for the aspect of fusion, in both of them we derive from the external reality. This means that just as the third path has its starting point in external reality, the fourth path also has its starting point in what is the external reality. This is, firstly, this is the essence of participation. Secondly, it is one of the aspects of participation. Its consolation is that it is a law of causality. This means that just as the third method is based on accepting the law of causality, likewise the fourth method is based on the law of range, based on the law of causality. As for ignorance of a difference between them, this is ignorance of an agreement and ignorance of a connection between the third and fourth paths. As for ignorance of a difference and ignorance of a difference, that the path is negative, temporal, and sabbatical, that it has that existent principle, an actual creator, and this is what is termed in the science of theology as the effective principle. This existent, which was not the sky, found a sky, whether it had a creator or did not have a creator. It is clear to me. This is the third way, meaning through the effective principle through the Creator. As for this third way, I am ignorant of the difference. As for this fourth way, he says, no, not the way of the active principle. Rather, if I establish that this world has a certain order, a certain mastery, and a rational purpose, then we say by the law of causality that this order needs what needs order. Here too, the law of causality is applied, which is the meaning of coexistence, but for my reason for what? Molaspati, the Creator, through the system, who organized this world, who created this world with this creation, with this mastery, the mastery of craftsmanship, with this intelligent design. This is also the principle of validity in the science of theology. It is expressed in the form of the word nazma, in Islahat al-Hadith 1 and al-Alamein. It is expressed in the technique of technique 2. The core of the essence of adki. This and the same with the proof of the systems according to some of the verses in the Quranic terminology, and it is expressed in the form of mastery that made everything that was submissive and clear and became consolations. This is the aspect of the difference, and the other aspect of the difference, which is that in the method of the third, a third is attributed to the existence of the Creator, but it is not possible to move on to the attributes. This Creator is what He is. Is he a wise creator? Or an absurd creator? They may be the creator of what is absurd. The madman also produces some actions from him, but they are the actions of the insane person, both wise and unwise, not wise due to righteousness and righteousness. The third way is cursing in goodness of a creator, but it does not curse that he is wise or not wise, knowing or not knowing, capable or not, and chosen or not chosen. As for the fourth way, in addition to it, he reviles that he is determined, cursing us that he is determined, among those who are wise, knowledgeable, and wise. They are chosen, not the last. Here comes the issue of evils. The problem of evil comes in many forms, in any form. On the fourth road, the fourth one who says that this creator is wise, that this creator is good, not evil, that this creator, what do we know? That this creator, what are we capable of? He asks. He says, if he is all-knowing, and he is capable, and he is good, and he is chosen, and he is wise, then how do we direct this evil? Diseases. How do we direct earthquakes? How do we direct poverty? This that we find either arises from an unknowing person, and if he is all-knowing, then he is incapable. And if he is all-knowing, then he is other than him, wise. And if he is, then he is other than him. He is not good. In the abyss, he is evil. What are the obvious reasons? Here is the problem of evils. What are the most important problems that arise on the path of systems, or the proof of systems, or intelligent design, or the proof of certainties? Which of them are the most important problems? The most important problem. And the problem is that it is the problem of what, the problem of the problem, the problem. And this is what occurred to the mind of God or the thought that believes in the existence of the Creator, the all-knowing, the all-powerful, the all-wise, the good, the chosen one. This is the problem of evils, and this problem needs an answer that understands its roots, no less. It begins to answer these problems with a question. What is meant by systems when we say system and when we say design and when we say mastery? Look at my condolences if I wanted to talk to you about time, the part and the whole. Sometimes the spring, our hand on a part, on every part. A part of this world. That means we raise our hand on the water. We raise our hand on the cliffs. We raise our hand on the human being. We raise our hand on the cows. We raise our hand on other questions. This is looking at a maze, to a part, and villages. We look at the sum of the parts through which we express the world. The world is the world, the natural world, and the material is the collection of parts, and it is not found behind the pane. The thing is not behind the collection of these parts and the governing relationships between these parts. They did not know. We laughed until the closest request to our oil of consolation. Come, so you seize a human being and the earthly globe. This is me. Man's reward is a part of this world and the earthly globe. What? Part of this world. If we look at Athena's physics on Earth, we would still say it is mastered or not mastered. He says yes. Its gases are like this, and the laws of physics are like this. In itself, it is the most sublime part, which is what is extremely well crafted. I say to me, look at the human being. This human being is a composite of these millions of cells and parts. He is independent and independent. He says, yes, he is perfect. But between humanity and the earthly whole there is harmony. If there is disharmony for 2 years, this is the answer. There is complete harmony. Why is this? Because he is a human being who can live on the earth. He cannot live on 2 planets. What else means that this earth, arranged in itself, is organized so that another part can live in it. Accordingly, it is organized in itself to be organized with others as well. This is what he expressed. If he looks at the parts as parts and looks at the family in the parts, what does it mean to the world that these parts, even though they are perfect in themselves, all of them lead to only one goal? Otherwise the goal of the matter is one. I would not have been able to convey the idea now, when he says with the meaning of systems, God willing. After that I will explain what they are, so I will say this is organized and this is not organized. Because this is not what they need for what needs a scale. To a mystery so that we can say if we are not a monazaman and this is what? Not a regularizer. I mean, by what angel we say, this is a regularizer and this is a non-organized genuine. This is researched by Iciati. When we stop at the proof of the regularizer and the evidence of the regularizers, is it, what do we know about Asa, and who is I to leave behind this now? But there are only 4 hypotheses in general. 3 of them are in my favor, for the most part. One of them is against with the proof of sight. The first Fargal. The first is the assumption of the first. The first Fargal. That each part be an organized part within itself, and that the parts between them are also organized, perfect, and fully designed to reach what, and this is the highest level of the paradise of composition, Eid al-Funu, the first obligation. Every part is precisely cut into itself. This means that when you put your hand on every cell through a human being, it is a fully perfect paradise. That is, you will not find in it any breakfast, then your sight returns to defect. Do you see from breakfast that your sight returns to you, especially, and this is the one who is overwhelmed after that? This part is bad, but these parts among themselves are not perfect. And it is organized so that it leads to the life of this person. The first assumption is that the parts are perfect and the relationships of the parts are perfect in order to reach a specific goal and purpose. The second assumption is that the parts are perfect, but it is somewhere between harmonious and mutually exclusive, conflicting and competing, and does not lead to the goal of the second hypothesis. In other words, the parts, when we place our hand on them, we find that they are literally waterless, but what exists between them is crowding and conflict that leads to inadequacy and does not lead to the goal. The third assumption is that you look at the parts and find that what are they? There is no precise design, no correct design, but it is designed in the form that it leads to a good goal. The world is designed with a smart design for the parts. These are the three hypotheses. These three hypotheses are all in favor of Burhanjan. They agree on the first assumption. The first hypothesis is the second. The beginning of the third assumption is that you need a causal law. What does it say? It needs a guarantee, and it is not possible for it to be a coincidence. The fourth assumption, there is no Al-Taft. There is no order in the parts and no order in the goal that the parts reach. This hypothesis is the fourth dimension. Is it possible to prove the order, or is it not possible? It is not possible, and that is why we said that there are four hypotheses, three of which are valid, with the proof of systems, and what is the limit? It is not in favor of Bharani that consolation systems are among the characteristics of man. All of these phenomena are still present in the world. Who is discovering their physical, mathematical, astronomical, and geological laws? The beginning is medical. Hundreds of branches of human knowledge. Who is discovering these laws day after day, and their progress is increasing? Developed, more knowledgeable, and more capable of harnessing his jinn. This world, from him. Just quitting. No less. What did you curse him with now? Other animals that kick these things and see them as fools, but they can explain the madness of the laws of this world from the characteristics of women, and that is why you find man in history who builds civilizations, builds cities, develops and perfects, but when you go back to other animals, you find them in the most precious instinct ever since they were, and if there are very partial subtle changes, we finance us as a resident of this country, the great cosmic prize, the enigma, do not own me. For life, on page 21 of the book, this is his phrase. He says that other animals see the same lights as we do, but the only creature on the surface of this planet that has been interpreted in place of it is the human mind. We say that there is no other existent, but we are talking on this planet about all existence for which we do not find an explanation for them with knowledge, insight, or development in their ideas. The question is, how can a person understand these phenomena? They are well developed. Look carefully at Maor. We said that man is the one who has lost his starting point, and also, what is the external reality, by what day I can perceive the laws of this pain, i.e. your law, a mathematical law, an astronomical law, a geological law, i.e. your law, all the natural sciences, and it is one or hundreds, Lord of all. Branches of knowledge in the natural sciences. With the natural sciences, man can discover the laws of what these parts are and the connection of these parts. What is the purpose for which these parts were created or existed? From here, the natural sciences are separated from the natural sciences as part of the fundamentals in the fourth path. This is what was not in the third path, was not in the second path, and was not in the first path. Here they enter the intervention of the natural sciences. What is this? Asa strengthened this way and what that? The natural sciences and what that is about him and what that is about him. The more we advance in the natural sciences, the more we can discover what the laws of this world are, and the perfection of these laws and the mastery of these laws are at the forefront of the obvious. Our God, my condolences, I will let you go. My condolences here, my dears. At this point, scientific research meets rational research and philosophy. If we stop at scientific research, we cannot discover the existence of the origin of systems, because the function of science is to say here is a paradise, either mastery, accuracy, and determination, or is it? Paradise is the absence of that, and the function of knowledge is the function of knowledge, and science is what it is about. He says there is mastery and precision, but there are strong laws that rule water like an athlete. It does not change, but every system needs a revolution. Now Nazim al-Hakim. This dimension of knowledge is called vulgarity, minor research, and bankruptcy. Here pain research intersects with research. If you stop searching for pain, the method to prove the norm, and you do not have a way to do that. So the one who says the theory of knowledge I do not accept except what is proven by experience. This is possible for me, may God's prayers and peace be upon him, but he cannot from this path. He can and cannot, I can't and am sad. Therefore, come with us, in reference to the book Scientific Thinking. I would like to say in the above, this book is important, do not read it. Scientific Thinking, written by Dr. Fouad Zakaria, The World of Knowledge, number 3, there on page 28. My condolences. This is his phrase. Vinham says, and in many cases, science resorts, after arriving at the general theory, meaning after it discovers the laws of nature, to futility of my mind. Here it is, if it wants to reach this mastery at all. This is after some of us are scientists and some of us are intellectuals. This is some of us as a plus in my mind, so it takes from the theoretician. The theorist knows the scientific laws and laws that he found as a fulcrum, and he easily extracts from it a point using logical and mathematical methods that can produce results. So he says that this system needs a system, and that this system must be what? Here are two worlds for the ignorant. He says, if the ignorant God is able to do that, unless you complete from the Hebrew of coincidence, what shields are ignorant, but it creates effects, all knowledge. This is necessary. If something is lost, then what is this with scientific proof? This is scientific evidence for the evidence of full philosophy. Here the star overlaps, as I said. The fifth is the overlap of experimental research with research. The star of the penny in the experimental rational. I ask now. And this is the importance of science, its glory, and the importance of the mind. Hearing benefit heard from scientific premises. He deduces the result of his growth, a minority, but that the minority result also goes back and applies it and places it in the external reality. He finds that neither the one he concluded with is consistent with the external reality, or it is not consistent because he knows laws, so if he finds them completely, he says that a given result is correct, but if he finds it does not agree with the laws of Na, he says that whoever is guided by it is small and correct. He says that Einstein, when he established the theory of relativity, based on previous observations and partial experiments that he and other scientists made, he derived the results that resulted from it in a way. Procrastination is less, and it would have been necessary to experiment with the question of whether these results are achieved in reality or not, whether the results that have been achieved are consistent with the event or not. In fact, this experiment was conducted in the case of a solar eclipse that occurred in the year Sabash, and it proved the validity of the theory that was taken from Einstein. An introduction to his conclusion and its guardian for his conclusions. And why is Einstein saying, "I am from my laws, the natural world. I reveal the mind to its how"? He thinks, how he organizes, how he engineers, how he makes it, and how he manages, but do not expect that he has explored his God as fully as what you say about God, according to your narrative, analytical, or philosophical perception, not in several other forms. What? But he cannot deny the existence of God and organize God. What? What? Huh? What's wrong with engineers? And that is why you found that we said that we did not begin to present the research of photography on the authority of Tastic, and this we said, that commissioned illustrations on you, photography, to the depiction of the genius, your guide, science, leads you to another depiction of God, this man, as you know, for us, and it is from him, and due to his expression, the fiercest of the book A Journey of the Mind. This is how science leads the fiercest atheists to what to believe from him, and glory. I called the minute a response to his statement, Mulan Shazmo, because on the 9th of September 2014, he made a scholar with news whose echo is still echoing in the circles. Philosophical, scientific, cultural, and religious, Anthony Iflo has risen to fame after he reached 80 years of age. They have come to believe that we are all deprived of scientific evidence. What they have provided is the best friend, and for this my consolation is that he comes and talks about Einstein. The examination is good. He says, let us find, as a beginning to present the concepts of physicists, O al-Adatha al-Balad, that al-Shaddin is an 84 sheet of paper around better than Einstein. He says that al-Shaddin, I want to know how he created the universe. How can I recognize him? He did not tell Enyon that I mean going except to discover. Laws of heaven. What is it? Nature has its origin except what? Yes. Except the least. How did his God invent this world? I want to know the thoughts of his God, and the rest will be complementary details. I reply, I know the universals of how he runs this world, but I regret that this Sean of course said this before he died. He says it now. God willing, if Sean was saying, for example, something else, and it is like the Sean, the human knowledge of the universe, about the universe in his time, of course, with a small film inside a huge library filled with volumes of scribes of great purpose and many languages. The child certainly realizes that the book that wrote these books is accidental, but he does not know how they wrote it. He knows all the laws, or he does not know and does not understand the languages in which they are written, because the ruling laws are natural and have their own language. What does it mean? Mathematical laws need to understand why. You do not need mathematical understanding. There is no understanding in the voicing, the interpretation, and the interpretation, just as you know that the books are as much as the one who enters the office with a system, but he does not know this system. He finds everything perfect, but how it is organized, he does not know. It is similar to 2 inches depiction of rational human beings about the lobby. This example sees the dazzling order in the universe and they realize that it follows natural laws, but they do not understand. And then they realize without a doubt that we are like a hidden force behind all of this. This Nishtin, and for this my consolation accept Awaya. They mentioned gods in the kitchen of history in Reciters in the history of Surah al-Fatiha. And there you are on page 48. It is quoted from the Nishtin that we ask for forgiveness. I am religious. Non-believers. I mean, what is the Tanago? I mean, what do you extend? He says, ha believer, to mind like the spirit of the Christian God. Islamic, I believe in God, but this is your God, were it not for the God that I imagine through my laws with Darwaba, and no, I am religious, and you are not a believer. The path to him is based on the number of perceptions of knowledge, for the sake of the enmity of the souls of anxiety, because it is the path to create and give this effect and the created attributes from it the attributes of the organizer and the creator. Whoa, whoa, he is only searching for the virtue, the purpose of the virtue. Philosophical research is searching for what, why did he create him in this way and not that way? He says there is mastery between these 5 fingers, which means giving them to the world. He says, complete mastery, he made the eye perfect. He is with what he created it in this way. These 5 fingers could have been created. What should I say to him? With the best system, it is connected to the goal and connected to the accuracy. They did not know. This is my in-laws, and what is the difference between scientific research and research? What is the difference between scientific research and research in it? Scientific research is experimented with Sasan. This is the mother of rational research. It is not like that. Scientific research specializes in poetry, and philosophical research asks, what about the goal of that work? If it reaches the goal, they ask what it is. What is the goal? The organization of the goal takes this form. This is not what they call the principle. The goal means reaching the Creator. Through the effective principle or the ultimate principle. Through the principle of purpose I came to ask my condolences, what has happened, God willing, so I will go away for 20 minutes, and I will even, God willing, ask honest, hello, this question. All of them have already started. The 4th path. As for the origin of the research, what is the position of knowledge after manifestation? What is meant by the general meaning of knowledge, meaning experimental knowledge in an astronomical visit? What is the position of science or science? What is the hibernation of the existence of God, positive and negative sleep? What are the clear implications for dear ones? Here there are two positions. The first position says for a negative interpretation, science says against the existence of God. How does it say when we come into the world we find it full of what? In a month, then it is possible to hibernate al-nadam, wise, knowledgeable, and capable. This is what Madyen denies in al-nadam, a religion in Yanadam. Anadam, who or the creator that the other religions say means Christianity, means Islam, means Judaism, and the likes of that or any other be that you think is a nadim. What? Scientists who missed something are a model. I only mention the examples of Atheists because it is time for us to think or refer to each of the most important books, Atheists and this field, Atheists. This book is Atheist of God. The book is full of Victor John Stinger, a scientist in particle fashion. Translated and presented by Dr. Kamal Taher Allah. The hypothesis is a failure. Why a failed hypothesis? Jeddah-Tan hypothesis says that either this system needs systems or it does not need what? How do you insult the knowledge of the non-existence of God? What are his scholars who want to say that science is neutral because some may say that science is neutral and not neutral? That is, it is foolishness to ask science and science to prove the existence of God or deny the existence of God. He says this is not and the function is neither to prove nor. What? I deny this is his position, and this position creates him, and there is a developed position that says no, that blame denies the existence of God. Why? He says, I will free you to resolve the dispute. You see, God, I will not respond. God denies religions. Why does God approve of religions? God says, why? Because he is God, the religions are infinite, his being is knowledgeable, wise, good, chosen, to others, to those who are inspired. Come with us, slapping to slapping, are mullahs of Ashreen who say in the three monotheistic religions that God is a transcendent one beyond matter, time, and space. Thus, we use the word God. I mean to the Christian Islamic Jews, by defining it, what is its number and quantification, and he does not say no because it is, and they do not say that this world was created by him, ripe with that, a world that is righteous, hearing, seeing, and choosing. All to another, and I go to a verb that is consistent with it, and it is not consistent with it. What they indicated, I will forgive my dears. As for what he says in this book, if I say God, my meaning is none of it. What are the religions? But if I want others, express them as a God or his God, and the family is another one. I will distinguish it with the word to. I will use the traditional pronoun remembrance as a saying. He says, because he will remove your problems. May God's paradise be with you. Masculine paradise. He is the one who. For Onad Yafik al-Marana, the reference to God, this book is an investigation of the evidence that surrounds the existence of God, not all gods, for someone who says such and such. This book can be likened to an investigation into the existence of a body from Meshan with death. I am the one who called in Madan in the high, Hadan in the Min of God, the Eternal. I say science, who here denies God the Eternal, and that is why he says today we have reliable experimental data and very successful scientific models that include the question about the existence of God from him through the method of water models, and the time has come. For verification, we were informed of these data and models about the validity of what, hypothetical existence, no, the existence of God is disturbed. I am going to Hinti. Jab says, before I was, has knowledge found God? He says, I published a book in 2003, and you said that science does not find it. What? What? Science searched for God and found him. He did not find him. He did not find him. He says that I should take a step forward in this book and say that science says that there is no existence. What is Rawada? He says, I examined critically the scientific evidence for God, and I found that it is incompatible, that is, it does not indicate the existence of God. Indicating the non-existence of God, there is a big difference between the absence of evidence and the existence of evidence for its non-existence. In this book, I will go further and argue that at this moment in time science has advanced sufficiently to issue a clear truth about my existence or non-existence. God, who possesses attributes that are linked by inheritance to God, from him to the Christian Jews. Osama Yasfat is possessed by our God. Yasfat. His contemporaries say that science denies such a God. For this reason, look at the title of the book, Non-Existence to Nothingness. The existence of God. As for that, Duggins wrote, and they are to this point. The extent of God's illusion is written. It is delusional to the obvious. My consolation has become. This is a model and model. It is also a delusion. It is also a deception. Books now exist that say that science has basically reached what? To the denial of my existence, and this is why many books, my condolences now, God willing, for the 10 moments enclose the scope of your aversion to the book. Look, after all the books, the effort in this direction, and for this reason, this is the fourth path. If I do not say the most important path, then it is among the most important. What are the meanings of this book? All around me, his dialogue is well, the dialogue of the road is satisfied. Did the lion kill the belief in the existence of God? Was the scholar on my authority able to substantiate this assumption or hypothetical? And he makes it an illusion, meaning the existence of his concern and illusions about whether he will obey or not. Yes, the existence of God, yes, the existence of God. I told you that because now the battle is raging, any God, even if there is a God, the battlefield is blind, hanging the claims of the heavenly that dissipates. So what about these specifications? He has a problem together with them with these specifications. Do you say, I don't care about the specifications? I say, my problem is that I am now Muslim humanity, the limits of 1 billion million Muslims, the limits of the world's smoothness. Christianity is more than the smoothness of the world. Judaism is like this. I don't know what all of this is. When you look at the world, you find people who are fat and 99. What kind of God is this? I am now the one who is sad and wants to stand in front of this view, but you want the pictures. He pointed to what I know, what Ibn Arabi said, but I do not know what the problem is. Oh, that one. I have a problem with someone, and this is for me and for me. You are the one who depicts it. No, God is the creator of all things and evils. So, from him is his creator. What is said about my illness? What can be said? This is after the answer. The bankruptcy in what he has grown is a nihilistic matter. This means that he has a burden. He does not have the burden of non-existence. He is harmed and he is not harmed. As for other than the non-existence of this, what is the problem of the one who is concerned about it? All the information is afflicted. I am afflicted with a nihilistic matter. If I want, then, if my theory is correct, I do not want to direct the one who can conceive it to paradise. If every door of this command says no, the command is not Judy. Why this disease, these germs, this and this, which advances the waves of humanity, this growth is the matter of its existence? What do you know about it? With all those who read, at the beginning, judgment has no business, and the end of rule and evil is execution and emancipation. So we must stand there. Look at this answer in effect. What is the content? I am able to answer the problems of others. I do not know. This is my side. Very good. This is the second position. The first of the second position. This second position. My position says that everything that science discovers is for the benefit of those who the hibernation of the existence of God. I am on this day, of course, and from here you will find before I point out the second position and the importance of the fourth path. From here you will find why the master martyr wrote the most basic of the logic of induction, and God preceded his time by decades. Look, I will read for you the title of the book so that you understand. Maladi errata, we have reached the previous poverty. When does scientific research and philosophy intersect? It is true that the method of the natural sciences and the method of the rational sciences are one and the same. O God, multiplicity and multiplicity, because it is the method of the natural sciences. What is it? The basic method in the natural sciences. What is the experiment in the hidden and the natural? The method in the philosophical sciences is also an experiment. But the experience of two things in the mind is only a relationship with the natural sciences, and there is no relationship at all. They are two parallel understandings. Thus, as they walk, they meet and do not meet. It reaches its limit with me. For the last, and for this reason, everyone who believes in the theory of knowledge, because my knowledge is ignored, and what my knowledge is based on, said, evaluate whatever evidence you find to prove the existence of God, but all of them are foolish. If you are honest, evaluate for us evidence to rely on from the dungeons. To the Taj-Libi mangers, this is what you cannot do, and this is what I am struggling with. He said, let us be able to master something. He gave me an explanation. He said, a new study of induction that aims to discover the common logical basis for natural science and belief in God Almighty, the method in natural science, and proving the existence of God. The method in people. If it is accepted, He will produce for you in the natural sciences. No, accept faith in God. And if you deny that He denies the existence of God, then He also denies what the nature has revealed. Distinguish between the natural sciences and your hopes in God, because the curriculum is multiple for one. Between you and God, this is a study that is gaining strength, and until now I am no less educated, even at the level of the Dalhem Stadium courts. I mean, until now, you are studying the Dalhem Stadium courts in the Hausel and you have read the logic of the genitive and you have read God knows. I will not forget the word. He used to say it with a sigh, and after studying the fundamentals, we left Mad Al-Tuzi, heading home. Shams has shown some basics on the fundamentals. Logic. He turned around and laughed. He said, this means, it is true. You are reading this book. He wrote it down to Zaid. I read it. They said, understand, as you increase our questions. You will answer. You will clarify. He said, I want you to understand. That's why they said, but I'm sorry that I wrote this book so that it becomes a subject for the study of seminaries. And in my opinion, God Almighty has read it, either before it, or in the case of Jinnu, if it's lead, there is no problem, God willing, tomorrow. I want to close this book. My consolation. This is one of the best abbreviations in the second position. O position, the one who says that knowledge whenever you advance it is in the right. What is it in favor of my proof of design in football? Science and the evidence of design. What is it? What is it? In the word, this design is revealed to you that the deaf person is from one who is knowledgeable, capable, hearing, insightful, chosen, wise, and good to another. Sina says, what are you doing with evil? I say, first, the throne has fallen, then it has become fat for months. The first thing that caused you this meaning, and there are no less aspects here. God willing, tomorrow, God willing, I will stop by this book so that you will know what this book is. A very short book, but one of the most important is that of Kent Feller, because the three notables who were the first investigators and the three who wrote are great figures in this field. This book has now been written by Mike Albay and William Dembaxi, Professor Mabal Tafjith. These Salat are with the Zai. Mike Albay received his doctorate in biochemistry from the University of Flayla Aleph in 78. He is a professor of biological sciences at a university in Pennsylvania. It is a substitute for someone who is not prepared. Discusses. 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 His book is not. William Faya holds a Ph.D. in mathematics from the University of Shkogue and a Ph.D. in philosophy from the University of Fulham, and a master's degree in Lahout from Madi Fulham. One of my newest workers is Esteban Mayer, who holds a Ph.D. in history and philosophy of science from the University of Fulham. For the presenter's research on the origin of the verses in science. Physician biology is one of my bad things, it is all contemporaries. I mean, what is the latest science that has come of age? Print what is in their hands. I swear to God, this man was living and talking to us 100 years ago. He does not know the progress of science. It is natural. By God, if there is arrogance in our time, know that science denies what it denies the existence of God. No dear, no peace. Likewise, I will discuss this and a group of books in this field, no less. I am speaking here in one sentence to my dear ones. And I respect them and have full respect for those who believe in the non-existence of God, no less. This possibility exists. They are right and you are wrong. You cannot simply read 2, 3, or 4 books. To deny the existence of God from a scientific standpoint, which says that if there is no evidence for God, talk to one side about what the other side does and decide after that what you want. Praise be to God, Lord of Customs.